Hi everyone, this is Eric Folks, Mobile Learning Specialist for Lampasas ISD. I'm here to talk to you about managing your LISD network profile. In preparation for some of the work technology will be doing this summer to speed up our internet both outside and inside the district, we want to make sure that our network profiles are as clean and lean as they possibly can. What is your network profile? Well, your network profile consists of all the files stored in these locations right here in red that follow you from one computer to another as you log in. These could be everything from Word documents to PowerPoints, you name it. Your profile also consists of certain preferences that you set up. Maybe it's a desktop background or your Internet Explorer favorites. Things like that can also be part of your profile. But we're not too worried about those. What we're worried about is having too many files stored in the wrong spot. What that does is it creates a lot of time as part of your login process, because when you log into a new computer, what it's really doing is making copies of every single one of the files that you have stored in these locations. If you have 10 files on your desktop, it makes 10 copies, one of each. If you have 1,000 things in your downloads folder, which many of you do, just because it's out of sight, out of mind, the computer actually makes 1,000 copies, one of each one of those files as you log into a new computer, and this is what creates such a prolonged login time. So to get to these locations and see what you have stored there, it's pretty easy. You can go down to the Windows Explorer shortcut. You can click on the little folder, you can click on the Start menu and go to Computer, and once you do that, you'll be able to see the locations listed along the left-hand side. So if I click on my desktop, you can see I've got quite a few things on my desktop. If I click on the downloads, you can see I've got just a few things in my downloads. Okay, so what we want to do is delete these files from the downloads and the desktop. Those are the two big ones, but also from our documents. Not any of these folders are used for various programs, so we don't want to mess with those. But if you have any individual files underneath, like Word documents, PowerPoints, things like that, those things you would want to move or delete. If you've got anything in your music, I always delete my sample music that's in here. Same thing with sample pictures and videos and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you've cleaned out anything and everything in these areas as well. The two big ones, though, are the desktop and the downloads. Okay, so what we want to do is either move them to our H drive, and that can be as simple as dragging them to your H drive, or we want to move them to the cloud. So if I go to my new 365 and I click on OneDrive, then I have the ability to take files that are on my desktop or in other locations, and I can drag those in and upload those to OneDrive so that they'll be available from anywhere I have internet access, even at home. So notice that it says LMS static device group here, the same file I've got right here. So when I drag it, what it's going to do is it's going to make a copy of it. Okay, and as I hold down the left click on my mouse, you can see it says copy. So once I get them in here, and it uploads and everything, and it looks like I've got some funky character names for that. Once I get them in, I want to make sure that I delete them from the desktop or the downloads folder, wherever I've moved them out as well. So essentially what I'm going to do is, whether I am uploading things to OneDrive, and of course I could create a folder if I wanted to organize these things by folders, or if I am uploading it to my Google Drive, same process, just drag and drop. Okay, and I made mine, and you can see it's uploading down there. I basically went from full screen with my browser to restore down using that little button so that I could see what I was trying to drag from. But I can also click New File Upload and then browse to them that way. Same thing would be true of OneDrive. I would just click Upload, and then I would browse to wherever it is. Maybe it's the desktop, maybe it's the downloads folder. Realize that you can also select by clicking on one of the files, and if you wanted to upload a whole bunch of files at one time, hold down the Shift button and select something else below it, and what it will do is select every single one of the files in between. Okay, this is a great way to upload multiple files at the same time. Here I've got a replacement because I'm just kind of demonstrating, but you can see it's just busting them out one after another, queuing them up, uploading all of them, except for the funky titles to that quote there, which I'll delete out. But it's pretty straightforward and easy, and I can do the same thing with either option. So if I select one of these and I hold down Shift, I can select a whole bunch. If I hold down Control, I can actually click and select individual files and not everything in between. So I have more fine-tuned control over what I'm uploading. But whether it's OneDrive or Google Drive or even Dropbox, they'll all give you the ability to drag and drop your files onto there, or you can browse to them to upload them. And if you use the Shift and the Control features while you're actually clicking, you'll be able to select multiple files very, very quickly and upload a bunch at one time. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. And those are the options for moving them to the cloud. I could also, if I wanted to, move them to my H drive. So you can do that in a couple of different ways. If I want to, I can just minimize my browser, and then I can open up another Windows Explorer window here. And so on one side, I'm going to have my H drive selected. Okay. On the other side, I've got my desktop selected. So if I wanted to, I could use some of those same commands that I was showing you earlier, where I just, I hold down Control and I select just the ones that I want to move over. And if I want, I can, rather than make copies of them, which typically happens if I just drag over, I can right-click on them and cut, and right-click in my H drive and paste. So anything that I put into my H drive is not going to contribute to the size of my profile. So the H drive is safe, and the cloud is safe. It's things that you have on your desktop and your downloads folder, and anything in your My Documents section, whether it's the documents, music, pictures, or videos. Those things are going to contribute to your roaming profile size. All of this is outlined pretty clearly right here in this little cheat sheet that I'm going to send everybody a link to as well. You've probably already got this. Hope this has been helpful, and look for the next video on managing your internet downloads.